Hello.
Oh,
How you doing, Mia?
I'm good. Hold on. It's saying that this broadcast was deleted on Facebook. So it looks like, are we just live on YouTube today, sir?
I think so. Yeah, I think we're
Okay,
just
good.
live on
Well,
YouTube.
then I am doing great. How are you?
Doing well.
What's
Hey,
happening?
hey, Ron. Hey, Joe.
Let's
Good
wish
to see
Brooklyn
y'all.
Joe a happy birthday.
Happy birthday,
Okay,
Joe.
first off, Joe was the first one to get here and make a comment. So we love that. Hi, Ron Perry. You all know if you've attended the show before, what you need to do is make sure that you comment because at the end of the show, we have a drawing that we're going to do a random number generator for the comment number. And then you're getting feisty lately because you're giving away two more during the show, aren't you?
We are. Yeah, we're gonna just have a little fun. We teach a lot of different principles here at JGoot. And yeah, it's always good to just kind of reinforce those lessons, make sure everyone's learning a little bit every time they attend one of these webinars and getting better at the travel hacking, or as I like to call it, travel hedging game.
Yes, that I like that phrase a lot. You said it earlier. I was like, "What's that?" It's just awesome. You're always coming up with something new. So let's say hi to a few people. We were Time Productions. Hello, Jeff Nixon. Who is that? Hi from New Jersey, Vicky. And hi, Wade. And I'm not sure where you are, but hello to you too. So I like. Are you ready to do the question? Do you want to just
Yeah,
not
you know what?
romance
Let's
us at
do
all?
them nice and early. We basically have a 1 in 25 odds
Yeah.
from these early attenders. Always good. So let's go ahead and just throw a question out there first. This is obviously going to be for anyone who has attended in the past or is familiar with the world of free travel and points and all of that. So our first of three savings card giveaways have to do with the answer to, oops, where'd it go? What is an example of an earning multiplier? And so we're specifically talking about credit
Just kidding.
card spending.
I was like, because I'm literally soaking in it from something that I've been
Hosts-
spending my money on lately. So,
Hosts of the show not eligible.
dang it, I knew it. I knew it. It looks like Brooklyn Joe, by the way, may have gotten it. What do you think? Ding,
Ding, ding, ding. Good job, Joe. So for anyone new to the show, we are big on, so let's just kind of back up a little. Point hacking. A lot of people are familiar with that, and a lot of people have a negative connotation with point hacking because usually that means you have to get like stacks and stacks of credit cards so that you can accumulate piles and piles of points. And most people have tried it. They got negligible results and they quit because it was kind of not worth the effort. And that's how point hacking works. And that's why it's been around for forever. And that's why not a lot of people are that interested in it because, they spent all of this time, accumulated 50 or 100,000 points, and they got, like $500 in value. They could have just thrown that in cash back and had it in cash all along the way.
Yeah.
Point hedging is quite a bit different. And the biggest difference, much like hedge funds, is that you don't require lots and lots of credit card sign-up bonuses. Sure, that is an example of an earning multiplier. As Joe point, you can buy gas and get 4 points per dollar. You can buy groceries and get 5 or 10 points per dollar. You can eat out and get 3 to 10 points per dollar. You can sign up for a new credit card and get 20 or 30 or 50 points per dollar that you spend on that credit card.
Right.
So those are all examples of earning multipliers. And when you apply the concepts of point hedging, you win big with lots of your purchase. You win big with redemption. So you can take 100,000 points, and instead of getting $1,000 in value, you can get $10,000 or $15,000 in luxury travel value from that same 100,000 points. And just like hedge funds, where you win big on one side and you minimize your losses on the other, travel hedging is the same thing. You only redeem when you can win big with small amounts of points. So you don't need to go and get dozens of credit cards. You just need to get the right credit cards. And earning multipliers is a very, very important concept. It's not rocket science, but as one of our coaches, Kira, likes to call it, She calls it turtle earning. So instead of just earning a penny per point and every $50,000 that you spend, you get 50,000 points, you can earn 10 or 20 cents per dollar that you spend and get 10 or 20 times as much free travel out of your everyday spend. So there's a big difference between what I like to call point hedging or travel hedging and travel hacking. And earning multipliers is a very important concept with that. So whatever credit cards you have in your wallet right now, you don't have to go and get a new one, but it would be a good idea to look at the terms of those cards and find out how you can make those cards work as hard as feasibly possible for you, because the travel benefits that you get out of doing that are massive, like bigger than most people ever realized was possible.
And then the flip side of that is learning how to spend those points so that you don't get tricked into spending these very valuable points for a cheapy little trip. You could have just paid that $190 and not spent your points on it. I almost did that this weekend, Joel. I swear. I was like, who are you? Where have you been? It snuck in on me. I was like, I should just see. And I'm like, don't do it. Don't do it. So these were even specifically Frontier points, but I still knew that I could just go with one of the rules of J Goot Travel.
Right. Which is, 2 simple rules. Find deals so good that you wouldn't waste your points.
Right.
And
like I almost did.
Use your points on everything else.
Yes. All right. Are you ready to get into this rapid fire, crazy Q&A?
Yes.
Because I do have one.
Anyone attending, we did promise. There's no agenda. We have no slides other than throwing some questions when we're going to do a savings card giveaway up. So we're just here to answer any questions you have about the wonderful world of free travel.
All right. First up, Ron had a really great question. And I was thinking about this weekend, and we were actually talking before we pressed play and record. How do you see travel restrictions abroad impacting our ability to travel? Is it a good idea to book now? Ooh.
Oh, gosh. I mean, I think in every case, it's a good idea to book now because, we saw this past summer as in the spring when everyone was starting to get vaccinated. Travel was opening up, prices started skyrocketing. And people who watched for good deals and snatched them up got to go and take some amazing vacations. We have a lot of clients who took first-class vacations, stayed at 5-star resorts. And the biggest thing is they booked them when they found them. So is it a good idea to book now? Always. If travel restrictions kick in, well, then flights get canceled and you're protected by federal law. And if those flights are canceled and you're unable to go, then you can get refunds or credits or whatever. We actually have an entire masterclass on exactly that topic. Now, with the other question, the bigger elephant in the room, with coronavirus and variants coming out, and a very concerning one that is spreading. Those are all personal choices. But from a financial standpoint, is it a good idea to book now? Yes. If you're comfortable traveling, then absolutely, that's going to be the best way. When you find an amazing deal that is so good that it will disappear the next day, book now. And if it gets canceled down the road, figure out a backup plan. Either cancel and postpone, or one of our members, Mira, who did a webinar on how she booked around the world flights in business or first class for all of her legs. And she did that for $896 for 2 tickets. One of those stopovers is in Japan. She's going in February, and Japan, as of right now, is closed down. So she has a backup plan, and she's going to reroute through another country for that one stop. Mira's a doctor. She's comfortable with this, and again, that's a personal choice for each and every person. But as far as the finances of it, if you see a crazy good deal like her $90 one-way flight to Japan, grab it up.
Come on.
If
you lose $90,
Yeah, exactly. So even if you lose $90, who cares?
Exactly.
And she's going to get a refund because they have to cancel the flight. So
let me ask you this. Let me throw in a little extra question to the question. What are the best way to book flights so that it's easier to make those arrangements? Like, say, for instance, booking directly with the airline as opposed to going to cheapflights.com or something like that. Do you have any advice on that?
Sure, that's a great question. And typically, it's always going to be best for flights to book directly with the airline. If cancellations happen, if changes happen, you've got a lot better chance of recourse by dealing directly with the airline. So anytime you have that choice, definitely do that. Some exceptions, one of the biggest exception when you might not want to do that is if you're getting a phenomenal deal by bundling a great price on airline plus a great price on hotel.
Ah,
We teach that is actually a strategy. Sometimes if you can't find a great price on flights, you can just add a hotel and it can actually reduce the cost of the flight alone sometimes.
yeah.
Or it can like drastically reduce the cost of the hotel. So there are occasionally times where it's good to bundle those trips, and that might mean booking through Expedia or Travelocity or a third party. But for the most part, yeah, whenever you can, book directly
Mhm.
with the airline.
I like those variables. And MF, the spiritualist, thank you very much for the compliment on my necklace. We were talking about that beforehand. I appreciate that. All right, next up, if you already have the Chase Sapphire card, what other ways would you recommend to get more travel points?
So the number one thing I would recommend is, first off, you've got one of the best cards in the industry. It's the most flexible. The points are some of the most valuable points out there. And the most important thing I would recommend is just go and Google that. Just Google that card on the Chase site, and look it up and look up those terms and memorize where you should be spending those dollars to get those earning multipliers. Um, and then the other thing is get to learn those points. The beauty of the Sapphire card is they have what are called ultimate rewards points, and
Mm-hmm.
those are flexible points. Those can be worth 5, 10, 20 times more. So if you're sitting on 100,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards points, don't go and sign up for another card if you don't have an immediate need. Learn how to use those points, and don't just get $500 or $1,000 worth of value out of it. Look for where to transfer those points and get $5,000 or $10,000 in value.
Give me an example.
I transferred my Chase points to Korean Air,
Okay.
and this was actually before they closed. They no longer work with Korean directly, but these examples happen everywhere. So we flew to Hawaii for $22, and we could have booked that on Delta, and it would have cost 60,000 points. And we have Delta points too. But
Mm-hmm.
by taking my Chase points and transferring them to Korean Air, which is a transfer partner of Delta, we took that same flight for 25,000 points. And that was a $1,300 flight. So 25,000 points is about $250 worth of points. And we got a free $1,300 flight by just knowing to transfer them out of Chase and into an airline where we got a lot more bang for our buck.
What I love about that answer is I know that that's something, and you see down here at the bottom, we say type interested if you're looking for more information about our travel coach program. That is called The Lounge. You are right now in the Village, but The Lounge is our travel coaching program. If you want to know more about it, it's not for everybody, but type interested. And we have several people. It looks like we have, obviously, Brooke is here and some others of our team that are here that will answer your questions too. I'm going to go in order of these. So sometimes they might be kind of going back to another question. For instance, MF the Spiritualist said, always purchase travel insurance. Do you agree?
That's a personal choice. I
Okay.
book all of my trips with premium travel credit cards, which have a surprising amount of insurance for cancellations, for accidents with car rentals, for broken windshields, etc. So I personally haven't purchased additional. Those are discussion topics depending on your level of risk. Just like anything else, you can over or under insure for anything, and that depends
I
entirely
know.
on your own personal
It's
risk
kind of like
tolerance.
when you get that little thing, do you want to buy the warranty for something that's like $14? I'm like, no, I'm
Right.
good. I'm all good. All right,
$14
Terry.
for the $28 product.
Yeah, I've seen that. I have the IHG 3 free anniversary nights expiring on 12/31. That's next week. I have called and they will not extend any ideas on how to get them extended. I bet you're sweating bullets. Can you help Terry on this?
I don't know that. I have not used IHG.
What is IHG again, for those who don't know?
I only know it. They're a partner with
IHG?
Intercontinental, which is the most popular brand.
Gotcha. That's what it is. Okay.
They've got a lot of hotels in Vegas that are IHG partners. Unfortunately, I don't have any advice for that other than those certificates are often very valuable and it's very worthwhile to know when they expire. Yeah, if anyone in the group has any collective advice, we welcome that, and we'll
because
try to
he's
pass
asking
that along.
him. They're saying they're expiring next week, and he wants to try to extend them. So I would say keep calling.
And Brooke bailed me out. So I got part of it right. They're a partner with Intercontinental, but it's Intercontinental Hotels
Group. Somehow I knew that. As soon as you said it, I'm like, I knew that.
Yeah,
All right.
I just know it as IHG.
IHG, right? Deborah wants to know, redeeming points, what's the best use for them besides flights, and where do you look for points redemption?
So great question. The flights are the absolute best use by far. Hotels are sometimes, I'm not even going to say a close second, but they're a second place. Everything else is who cares. We don't advise using points for anything other than flights and hotels.
So not cruises?
Most cruises, when you use points, you're only getting a penny a piece.
Okay.
And those are two core concepts that we teach inside Jagoot Lounge. So we've got a price floor and we've got a price ceiling. So price floor is that penny a piece rule. So never, if you have 50,000 points, never, ever, ever redeem those for less than $500 in value, preferably a minimum of $1,000 in value. And that can be done through finding the right hotel partners and the right airline partners. You can literally get 5 to 20 times that much by knowing which airlines and which hotels to transfer those points to. Everything else, I don't even worry about it. Yeah, you could, if you try really, really hard, you can, get some cruises, but you're mostly getting a penny and a half a piece. That's it.
Okay.
Same with Disney. Sorry, Disney, penny and a half a piece. Points are not the avenue for getting deals that way. There are other ways, but points aren't it.
Okay.
In my humble opinion.
Sorry, Mickey. And Deborah, thank you for that question. That was great. Ron, yes, I am in the Christmas spirit. And thank you for noticing all my Christmas accoutrement. Fern wants to know, to do the best on Hyatt Rewards, is the credit card necessary?
No, not at all.
Okay.
I only broke down and got the Hyatt credit card 4 or 5 months ago, and that was because they had a phenomenal promotion.
Yes, me too.
That I was able to take advantage of.
Yes.
That promotion is gone, and we don't actually recommend the Hyatt card right now. There are only 2 cards we strongly recommend right now, and it's the Chase Sapphire, either of them, and the Amex Platinum card. Those are kind of, if you go to jagoot.com/cards, we almost always have our top 1 or 2 cards. None other, because everything else is a very, very distant third to those top 2. Occasionally there might be a promo going on, and we'll kind of throw that out there. We did a big promo for Southwest a few months ago.
Or was it a few months ago? I feel like that was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, it's just, you're right. It's,
what day is it?
Maybe a month ago.
I'm with you on that.
And that deal's gone, and we no longer recommend the Southwest card because it's not as easy, or not this. We don't recommend the Southwest personal card because that promo went away, and those are very mediocre points. We really try to practice getting, only the most valuable points that can be worth not a penny a piece, but 5 or 10 or 20 cents a piece.
Gotcha. Okay. Chris, how do you get the amazing resort/hotel upgrades for cheap?
So there are a few ways. One of the ways we teach is how to hack getting status. Hyatt was a great one. The jury's still out on whether that's going to be possible in 2022. So far, it's looking like it's going to go back to being very difficult to obtain. But there are plenty of ways to, hack getting status. And those are great ways. Sometimes you can get fantastic upgrades. So you can get a phenomenal deal on a coach fare and then use points or cash to get an upgrade. We actually have a master class on exactly that inside Jagoot Lounge. And real quick, for those just joining us, it looks like we got a few more trickle in. What you're watching is Jagoot Village. This is where we talk about the 2 rules of Jagoot, of the Jagoot way of travel. And they're pretty much guaranteed strategies to get you anywhere in the world in coach for free. What we teach inside Jagoot Lounge is exponentially more valuable by getting you anywhere in the world in first or business class for free.
Yes. And super detailed.
And staying at 4 and 5-star resorts for free. So the difference is, they're both free strategies. It's just going to be kind of difficult at the basic level to get much more than, a couple free coach trips at the basic level of this point hacking, points hedging strategy that we teach. Inside the Jagoot Lounge, we teach the more advanced strategies so that you can do that in the more comfortable long haul flights and not be crammed up in coach, and not have to pay $3,000 to $10,000 for those flights,
which is super fun. And just so you know, too, in the lounge, like that instance you used of what you used your points for when you were talking about Korean Air, that's something like we could bring in the lounge and discuss it because we have so many experts that are in there too. So it's very detailed. It's very fire hose in the lounge with all the information. I have my finger up because I'm like, what is rule number 1 and what is rule number 2 for Jagoot way of travel?
Let's see if
are we ready?
Let's do another question.
Okay.
So we did an earning multiplier before.
Yes, we did.
Congrats to Joe, I think it was. We gave a little bit of foreshadowing as I segued into this question. So what is a great way to find 60 to 90% off deals without relying on frequent flyer points? And as we're waiting for that answer, this is kind of like that, I talked about hedge funds where, you get the huge upside and you minimize the risk for the downside, which is why hedge funds are so extremely profitable. Point hacking is kind of the same thing. You get the benefits of getting $2,000 to $5,000 to $15,000 flights with $500 or $1,000 worth of points.
Yes.
And then you offset that with cash deals. So I'm comfortable saying that now because we saw lots of people chiming in with answers. And yes, look every day. So many people.
Are we going with JK, by the way? Because I know Deborah said Jagoot daily emails, but not everybody gets those. So I think check every day is our answer.
Yeah, I would say so. Thanks for the plug
for
the Jagoot daily emails.
Yes.
Inside our coaching program, we do that looking every day for our clients. So if you live near one of the 30 major airports we serve, we watch deals every day because we know most people don't have time to get around to that. And we basically send a highlight reel every day of 3 to 5 deals that we found that are very worth purchasing, like so worthwhile. Even if you have 1 million points, you'd be crazy to waste your points because it's like, why would you take $200 worth of points when you can go to Vegas for $29?
Right.
Why would you waste $1,000 worth of points when you can find flights to Europe for $300? Even if you don't want to part with the cash, you could actually get 3 flights with those points.
Right.
And that's how you hedge your bets. So sometimes you use points, but only when you're going to get massive value out of those points. Other times you pay cash because it's such a good deal, you'd be crazy to waste the points. And between the two, you have a bulletproof strategy that will have you spending so little your friends won't believe what you paid. And that's what we teach here in the village.
Yes, we do. And if you are new or if you weren't on here last week, Joel, you really did some good presentations on How did you say it? What did we call it last week? What was our live stream last week?
Oh, that was
Not like
replace certainty with curiosity.
Yes, yes. So if you are
Yeah.
having a hard time thinking about that, of like, but wait, I have my points and I need to spend them, just take a gander at the show from last week. We'll post a link in here too. It's here on YouTube and it's in the village as well. That you did really well on coming up with some mental gymnastics for us to change our mind about. So
Yeah,
kudos on
it
that.
was really more of a mindset exercise than
It
facts and
was.
figures, which we mostly talk about,
Yes.
including today.
Yes.
Um,
Okay. So that was
but-
rule number one. Mhm.
So yeah, that was throwing that question in there was just an example of rule 1 trips and rule 2 trips. Rule 1 is to look every day, whether you're planning a trip or not, because nothing inspires you to plan a trip more than stumbling across $200 or $250 flights to Europe or Japan. Nothing inspires a quick weekend trip to Vegas more than finding $10 flights.
Mhm.
So even though you weren't planning on traveling, sometimes when you find a deal that is so good, you end up planning on traveling. So I like to call that travel through osmosis. That's rule number 1, look every day. Rule number 2 is always have a stash of points, not just any points, but the right points, flexible points that can be transferred and redeemed for massive value. So those are your cash trips, those are your points trips. And between the two, they support each other. Your cash trips keep you from depending on stacks and stacks of credit cards and sign-up bonuses. Your points trips redeemed efficiently, keeping you from wasting lots of money for when the traditional way of travel is going to be expensive. Weddings,
Right.
funerals, family reunions, guys trips, girls trips. Those are all trips that, I mean, if you think back on one of those events, I would give 4 out of 5 odds that you were very frustrated with the price that you paid. And that's because that's
Sure.
how the traditional way of travel works. But when
Because
you
you can't
hedge your
change that.
bets and have points, it's like having a get out of jail free card. You just say, yeah, it's a guy's trip to Cozumel, and I really want to go, but I don't want to spend $1,200 on flights. How about I use
Points.
$350 worth of points?
Sure. And it's interesting too. I think several of us in the group had that this year when we had to go with that rule number 2 and use those points trips, and it came in handy for sure. So we're walking the talk as well. Quick question from Wero Time Productions. What's your experience with Disney credit cards?
Oh, that's
have any.
one of those that, I mean, that's one of those penny per point things. Disney credit cards are great, and it's no different than having a Ford credit card or a Chevy credit card or a Nissan credit card. They all have them, and they're all great. And in that, yeah, you eventually get like a penny per point back. So every few years, you might get something of value. But again, those don't fall under the category of flexible points. And it's going to be very, very difficult, like exponentially more difficult to get value out of those points than Chase Ultimate Rewards, Amex membership rewards.
Sure.
I'm even getting close to becoming a fan of Capital One venture rewards.
What?
They're still they're still third place. They used to be a distant third to Chase and Amex. They're now still third place because they're still pretty difficult to work with comparatively. But I would take any one of those 3 sets of points over almost any other brand. Marriott, Delta, United, you're stuck with that brand, and the odds of you being able to transfer out and get more value are 0. You're stuck with that brand. You have to pay whatever they're charging.
Sure. And that's proof positive right there, how quickly everything changes in the travel world. Because if you know Joel, that's why I was like, what? What did he just say? Because that's not your usually line about Capital One.
Capital One has gotten a lot more competitive this year.
Okay.
And
This year. See how we said that
just
this year.
year, like just 4 months ago.
Wow.
And it's funny because Chase kind of dropped their huge sign-up bonus, and Capital One stepped up and added a big bonus and added a lot of transfer partners. Transfer partners, folks, that's where the money is. It's not just having the points, it's knowing how to redeem them. And the difference is night and day. I mean, there's just no comparison. And 98% of the traveling population thinks, oh, I have 100,000 points. Who cares if it's $1,000 in gift cards or an iPad or $1,000 in flights on Delta. But knowing how to redeem that 100,000 points can be literally $5 or $10 or $15,000 worth of travel.
And you've seen many of the examples that sometimes we give a ton of examples because we have so many of them of how those points were used. So Eileen made a point, make sure a country accepts credit card insurance for car rentals. Ireland doesn't accept it all.
Yeah. Yeah. And, Eileen, we focus in Jagut Village and Jagut Lounge on saving most of your money on airline and hotels. And everything else should be researched on a case-by-case basis. You want to go to Morocco? Check out the rules for that country, the COVID restrictions, the insurance restrictions, what your insurance would do if
what your bank
comes up.
does, right? Yeah. Call your bank. Make sure you tell them that you're going out of the country so you don't. And it's happened to me. It's happened to many of us. Of Wells Fargo's like, whoop, nope, I don't think so, ma'am. No groceries for you.
But the Jagut value response to that would be, yes, I agree 100%. No matter where you go, we went to Chicago and they had unique restrictions for certain states.
Interesting.
So, anytime you book, one other thing we teach is we like to remind people of is that all airlines have a 24-hour cancellation policy now.
Yes.
So when you look every day and you find a crazy good deal that is too good not to pass up, don't even bother spending time looking at your calendar, figuring it out with your significant other. Snatch that deal up and then do your research. Can you travel to that country? Do you have the right vaccinations? Do you need vaccinations? Does it work with your calendar? If it doesn't, cancel. You have 24 hours.
Gotcha. So don't even worry about changing. Just cancel it because you can cancel it and then you can book it again. Okay. I
actually did that 4 or 5 months ago, and it was a flight and I just wanted to change the flight. And they said, oh, you're in the first 24 hours. Just cancel it and rebook it.
That's so smart.
And it was just an automatic credit. I didn't have to request anything. I just canceled and it came back automatically.
Really good point. Because I was just thinking in terms of when you said book that, don't even check. Then what if you had to change it? But you're right. If it's within that thing, and even if you give just cancel it and then book it again. Hopefully you still have the deal though, right?
Right.
That's the only.
That's why you just grab it up. I mean, that when we're talking about finding the cheapest 1% of deals out there. I saw another question asking, is there a great place to look for last minute? And I'll go and show a video where I do live demos of exactly where to look for that. It's in the guides section.
Okay.
And
Thank you for
rather than spending time today, I'll just kind of show you where you can find resources that show exactly that.
Oh yeah, please do. And then we have more questions. We do.
Cool. Let's get to one while I'm pulling that page up.
I'm having a chocolate snack. How you like me now?
And it's a good thing you have that professional mic so we can all hear it.
When redeeming points, you usually transfer points to increase their redemption value?
Absolutely. We have dozens of case studies and examples inside Jagut Lounge. I have another one. We call them blueprints. And we've got 6 coaches inside of our 8 actually.
8. I was about to say. Wait a second.
6 who have regular office hours. We've got even more who are available just for chat and for questions and so on. But we do things called blueprints. And when they take a trip, they will document it and they'll say, here's how I earned the points. Here's where I transferred them. Here is the value of those points. Here's what I would have paid cash. And here's what I got by transferring the points.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, I don't even know all of them. We've done so many, but I did one myself where I said, all right, I flew in a private suite. It was a $12,000 flight. It would have taken 800,000 Chase Ultimate Rewards if I just left them in there in the Chase portal. So remember, we talk about Chase Ultimate Rewards being extremely valuable, but they're not valuable when you redeem through Chase's site. They're valuable by getting them out of Chase's portal.
That
So
by the way, y'all, that's worth the whole show right there to not do that. Because it's very
transfer
tempting.
partners.
Trust me, when you get on there, it looks shiny and it's bright and there's little spinning things. It makes you want to book. But
Yeah.
transfer partners is it. You want to pull that up real quick?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
and then just to finish that example, instead of
Mhm.
using 800,000 points, I transferred them. I knew who to transfer them to, and I'm not even going to say it because that transfer is no longer valid. These partners change, but basically, I booked a $12,000 private suite on Singapore Air, and I did it for 50,000 points, so $500 worth of points. So people who are saying, "Oh, I prefer cash back," yeah, you would have gotten $500 cash back.
Yeah.
I got a $12,000 once in a lifetime experience. I mean, the champagne I drank was
More
worth
than
almost as much as the points that I redeemed.
that always makes me giggle every time we talk about that trip.
Let's see.
Okay.
So this is, and anytime I seemingly duck a question, it's because we have an entire video with a
Yes.
lesson on that. So I saw another question, someone asking any sites you recommend for last minute trips. The very first video that you see here in this guides section of our Facebook group. So Jagoot Village, it's a free Facebook group for anyone who wants to learn this way of travel. You go to the guides section and there is a whole library of information. The Pareto method, huge. It
80-20.
tells you don't focus on cruises, don't focus on all inclusives unless it falls under the hotel category. Or the point redemption category. So this 10 free sites, the first 5 are cash deals, how you can find cash deals through sites that are either free or like 25 or $50 a year. Very well worth it. The second 5 sites I talk about are point hacking sites that will blow your mind. They're free, and you can learn so much from just applying that information. This one video, there's a reason it's the first video there. It's because it's that helpful.
Yes. Love it. And as you can see, there's just a ton. Yes. Yeah. Look at that.
So these are all free for you to just take advantage of. You can ask questions as you're watching those videos. And these are just a small taste of what you get in the lounge, which is, basically Jagoot Village is kind of like the 101 level class. We don't ever really take it higher than the 101 level because it starts to get exponentially more difficult. And we have so many new members coming in that are just getting their feet wet. We intentionally keep it beginner level stuff so that anyone can go and do this.
Yes.
If and when you go and start to travel for free and say, that was fun, that was easier than I thought, you can upgrade to our paid coaching program, which will teach you how to do the exact same thing, but in business and first class and in 4 and 5 star resorts, and do that in a perpetual basis multiple times per year, and wash, rinse, and repeat what we teach you every year. So you can start to use this point hedging strategy for your own travels and learn a lifetime skill that'll help improve the quality of your vacations.
Agree. And if, that's a great strategy, actually, Joel. So if you want to go ahead and type in interested, and then somebody from our team will talk with you, they'll still find out what your travel plans are and probably say that, hey, just go do some more travel and then come back to us. And that's a fun way to also kind of get your feet wet, not spend money yet on a coaching program, but still look at all of these guides. So that's how we roll.
I literally had a conversation with someone this morning, and he spends $1,500 a year on budget travel, flies and coach, stays at hostels. And I said, gosh, here, I'll send you 2 or 3 links to free resources that can help you do that more effectively. No need for our paid coaching program. He doesn't, he travels alone. He doesn't feel the need for first class travel, and no need for our paid coaching program. So when you talk to someone, they'll, if it's a fit, we'd be glad to invite you into our coaching program. But we only take people on who we know can recoup that investment. We offer a guarantee that you can travel this way before you graduate the program. We can't take that risk if all you do is go to Phoenix every year to take the kids to see grandma and grandpa.
You don't need us.
Yeah.
If that's you, you don't need us. And that's okay too. There's no judging.
Yeah, we'll show you how to do that for free in our paid or in our free Facebook
in our
group.
free and with these guides too. So Brooklyn Joe, birthday boy, wants to know if there's a way to check if you already hit your 524 rule. So can you talk about the 524 rule? And I know there's a video that probably goes with that too.
Sure. So the simple definition of Chase 524 rule is that they only allow you to get a new Chase card if you have applied for and been approved for less than 5 cards in the last 24 months. Basically, it's a very important rule because Chase has a lot of very valuable cards. So you don't want to run out and just get any old cards willy-nilly, because you eliminate every card that you get eliminates your chance to get an extremely valuable Chase card. And in explaining that, I forgot the original question. But
how do you find out if you've hit your 524?
Oh, that's right. So Credit Karma has, you can just set up a free Credit Karma account and you can look up your credit history. It's kind of a backdoor way, but you basically just sign up and play around and look at your credit history. They'll tell you how many cards you have and they'll tell you when you applied for those cards. And you can just go and do the math and literally see how many cards you got in the last 24 months.
Gotcha. By the way, JK is a longtime subscriber and first-time winner, so that's pretty exciting too.
Thanks for participating.
So apparently we might have said things backwards. Replace curiosity with certainty. I think did we say that?
I thought I said
replace
certainty with curiosity.
But just
if
in
I
case.
said that backwards.
Can I just tell you? You know.
The flaw, and that was based on a quote that said, certainty is the enemy of understanding.
Which
so many people in this world, I mean, I hear it every day. I get people that are like, this is a scam. My mom's a travel agent and I've never gone to Hawaii for less than $800. This is a scam. It's like, we have people doing it for $99 all the time. And that's without points. I did it for 22 and that was with points. So, but that person whose mother is a travel agent is certain that if anyone does it better, it must be a scam. Is it a scam, or is his certainty costing him hundreds, if not tens of thousands of dollars in travel opportunities?
Loved that concept for sure. You know what I said this past week? And I said, the last 2 years of this week, when I really meant the last 2 weeks of this year. And I think that's how we feel sometimes when things are really long. The last 2 years of this week, I'm telling you. All right. So JK, you like that. JK wants to know any favorite sites, resources for inexpensive last minute trips when you don't care where you go. So
that was that question. I highly recommend watching that 10 sites video.
Yes.
And that is this very first one. And we break down Google Flights. They have a very, very valuable anywhere feature that will do exactly that. And I've got, I don't want to take up 10 or 15 minutes explaining that on this video. Go watch it where I actually prepared slides and showed you exactly how to go do that.
Don wants to know, is LAS one of the airports you search for daily deals? What's LAS?
Yes. Las Vegas.
Oh, duh.
Yep. Yeah, we have several members in Las Vegas. And basically we watch the 30 biggest airports in the US, in the mainland 48 states. So we serve 3 markets in California, San Diego, LA, San Francisco. We serve Denver, we serve Vegas. Bottom line is if it's a top 30 airport, we serve that area. And odds are most of the people in this audience are from one of the markets that we serve because that's where we advertise.
Let me throw this out there because Brooke, our indubitable, fabulous Brooks was answering to Dawn, who mentioned about the emails that our service is currently sold out, meaning on the emails. Is that right? Daily trip emails are now only available to graduates of our lounge programs. Some of our previous members are grandfathered in. Who has 2 thumbs and is one of those previous members grandfathered in? This girl right here. So when you hear us mention that, don't feel like you're missing out. We're just not doing it right now. I guess you are in a little bit, but
Yeah, it
Yes.
was.
So
We got so many new members when things started opening up in 2020 that we had to close the doors because we're telling people about the cheapest 1% of deals. A lot of these are mistake fares. Most of these only last hours, maybe a couple days. And the bigger our list got, the more our own clients were competing with each other for those very few seats that are at those kind of prices. So we decided to close those doors at high volume, and now it's only available to graduates of our coaching program. And that way we protect the integrity of the deals that we're telling our clients about.
yes. You know what I love? I love that our banner on there says it takes a village to unlearn expensive travel habits. I don't know if I've never noticed that, but I really like it a lot. So I'll say it again. Brooklyn Joe, again, birthday boy, does point out that the 24-hour, and unless you know something, I don't know, rule does not work with Spirit. They only give you credit to your Spirit account. Stinkers.
Yeah, I don't know
Is
enough.
that true?
I don't know that that's true. I don't know enough to
Okay.
deny that, but from my understanding, that's actually a federal law.
Oh, because right now of the current condition, or just a federal law
Correct.
overall? Okay.
Now, a lot of airlines will try to twist your arm into taking a voucher instead of a
Sure.
refund.
Sure. And
But
Spirit is very busy that way.
yeah, and it also depends. I don't know if Joe was talking about the 24-hour rule or cancellation. Flight cancellations or major changes, which is open to interpretation, is protected by federal law. And I'm pretty sure that the 24-hour rule is as well, but I could be wrong. I don't know for sure.
Interesting. But I think it might also look like that a little bit, the way that they just keep having you click through probably to cancel that trip. So that's how I felt when I looked at Spirit about 2 weeks ago too. So I'm going to pop down here. If I missed anybody's question, let us know. But Sarah says, I want to take the family, 4 of us, to Hawaii next May-ish. I'm checking flights every day and looking at the positioning flights. What else should I be doing now?
That's great. So checking every day from multiple airports. So I would definitely be checking every day from San Diego, LA, and San Francisco for sure. And the fact that she mentions positioning flights says that Sarah knows, some intermediate type strategies. So, and you never know, check from your home airport too. We have plenty of people that have flown to Hawaii or Mexico or Caribbean from their home airport as well.
And just so people know, what does positioning flights mean again?
So when you position, that means you get yourself to an airport where it's a lot less expensive. So if you live in Chicago and flights to Hawaii are $900, it would be very worth your while if you stumble across a $99 fare from San Francisco. It would be very worth your while. It's probably going to be less than $700 to get yourself to San Francisco. So that's a positioning flight. You can do that on the front end. We actually have a Hail Mary course. We have 10 Hail Mary plays. Positioning flights are one very effective way to cut costs when you're in a bind and you don't like the prices you're finding. When you do it from the origination area, like from the country you're in, I call that the flea flicker. That's where you position yourself on the origination side of the flight. The other option is, we call that get yourself to the continent strategy. We call that the hook and ladder play. It's also a last minute strategy that will save money. And that basically, you get yourself to the continent where you're going. So even if you have that timeshare in Maui, don't just watch Maui, watch Kauai and Kona and the other islands as well. Because you can usually you can position yourself to the neighborhood and then take a cheap commuter flight there. So position on either end, either on the front end, flea flicker, or on the back end, hook and ladder. And that doubles your odds of success by watching those.
All your phrases. And I love that Brooke gave this piece of advice, seriously, that went along with that question to Sarah, asking, are you working on your backup stash of points? Those can significantly help offset the cost. And Sarah says, yes, figuring out ways to get my points, but basically just starting. So that's an excellent addition to that strategy as well. is start looking what, like we were just talking about, if she's going to be buying groceries, taking a Lyft or Uber, like I have been with my Chase Sapphire, and I think I'm getting either 4 or
5 or 10
5.
points.
Yeah, it's a lot. So start thinking about those daily things that you're doing. Even if you're doing last minute Christmas shopping this week or holiday shopping, start thinking about using those cards.
You know, the last comment kind of brought this up, and it reminds me of Kira's turtle earning phrase, which I just love. And, you know, so many people just dismiss that and they say, oh, that'll take forever to earn. You know what else that works for? Investing.
Yeah.
They call it dollar cost averaging. You just invest a little bit each month, and that will compound. And over the years, it builds and it builds and it builds, and it adds up to inconceivable amounts of money. The same thing happens with points. A, they can multiply a lot faster than 1% cash back. And B, unlike dollars, you can learn how to multiply the points. So you get to multiply them on the earning side, and then you get to multiply them again on the redemption side.
That's
and
amazing.
For anyone that says, too much trouble, you know, it's going to take forever, I'm going to do my penny analogy.
Okay.
Let's do another question. This wasn't in the in the plan, but who has a guess at how much this penny would be worth if you doubled it every day for 30 days? And we can round to the nearest zero figure. I don't even want to give a hint by saying how many zeros.
Do not ask me to figure that one out. That is all you.
If you doubled this penny every day for 30 days, and don't Google this, if you doubled this penny every day for 30 days, how much would it be worth? This is to reinforce the concept of turtle earning.
Okay.
We're getting close. It is in the millions.
I'm looking.
Not the 100,000s. It's in the millions.
We have million, 16 million, 300,000, 5,000.
We might
have to.
Let's see how many questions. But compound interest. Albert Einstein says it. It's the most powerful tool in the world. And that's all this is. That penny compounds every day for 30 days, and it would become, Sarah gets it. It would become 5 point something million dollars.
Brooke says she did not Google it. Okay. Got a few more guests in there too. All right. Sophie,
right? Like most people think,
Sarah.
oh, not worth the trouble. Like,
yeah.
The riddle is, like, would you, if you could take this penny and you had to drive across the state 8 hours a day, every day for 30 days, would you do it? And most people would say, no, that's stupid. But if you had to drive across the state every day for 30 days and you got to double the value of that penny, you would have $5 million. Get a calculator, just hit.
Plus, I love road trips.
1 times 2, 30 times, and you'll see.
Right. Okay. That's awesome. All right. So that's who that next gift card is going to. I have a couple more questions. That was fun, by the way. It looks like, Karina wanted to know, Dr. Karina, she says, do you have a list of transfer partners?
We don't. We have in that 10 sites video, they do, and they keep that current. I don't bother keeping current because there are other tools out there that keep current. Those transfer partners change all the time. And I list that. I'm not going to tell you where it is. I'm going to make you watch that video. It's the 10 hidden features video. That's the very first video that you see in the guides section.
I like it. All right, Vicky, so with lots of airline points now being variable, do you wait until you find a deal transfer points from Ultimate Rewards, or should I transfer to where I get the most bang for my buck right away?
So we typically recommend not transferring until you know how you're going to use them, because it is very dynamic. You could get, you could get a $5,000 flight for 50,000 points on Tuesday, and it might cost 250,000 points on Wednesday. So you never know. You don't, and that's the beauty of just accumulating those in that umbrella of Chase Ultimate Rewards or Amex membership rewards. So then you're just stockpiling those points, and then you have them there for when you need them.
Right. And it looked like Tracy had this like super last minute request in 8 days. That's a tough one. We have some Hail Mary plays. They're featured in the guide section. Start there. So yes, because Tracy's looking to go to get a friend here from Newark to what's MSY next week.
Minneapolis.
So, Minneapolis. Ooh, see, look at you. You can tell the people that have been traveling. It's also Tracy's birthday, by the way. That's awesome. All right. Happy birthday to you. Let's see if we have any more. Yay. Sarah says she's learning from us. That's awesome. And I don't know if we have any more right now. Learned from my financial person. They are smart cookies. Good for you. I feel like I maybe had one more up here that was asking about Dubai. Do you know anything about Dubai?
I haven't been. It's definitely on our list.
Is
what's the best way to explore Dubai? Yeah, I don't know. I would say I'm sure there are plenty of people that have been. Mira will be doing a blueprint of her around the world trip for $896 in business class after she returns in February. She is one of our coaches. She started as a member. She has learned so much that she is now one of our coaches, and one of our most popular coaches.
Mm-hmm.
We have what are called checkpoints. So you can check in with our coaches. And if you're thinking about a credit card, you can sign up for a checkpoint. And one of our coaches will say, no, don't get that card. Get this one instead. Or no,
Which
you
I
don't
like.
need a new card.
Yes.
You need to learn how to maximize the value of your existing card.
Again, and content that's not always evergreen, because this is not an evergreen
Right.
world that we live in, especially with travel. And, there's things that we thought we'd be so much more free to travel around this time of year. Not so much the case right now, but still we should plan travel. And the one thing I love about those blueprints, it is like a little dissection. Little, what do they call it? Forensic report of the trip, and it takes it all apart, and for what worked and what didn't work too, right?
Right.
Which
Yeah.
is really
Well,
good.
I mean, I'm not bashful. I'll share how I screwed up and how I will, how our members can avoid that mistake or whatever.
Mhm.
I haven't had any major blunders in a few years, but I'll definitely share them so that so others can avoid those mistakes.
And we all do too. And Brooke and Bev, I promise I will bring chocolate next time for everybody instead of not sharing. So Ron says, okay, Karen wants to know how much it costs to be a member of the lounge. Can you address that?
Sure. So our coaching program is not cheap. Again, our goal is to show you how to take $3,000 to $20,000 worth of first class flights. And it's by application only. So we have personal discussions and we see if we have a program that can work for you. So we don't discuss price because we've had 4 price hikes since inception. And these videos last forever. Most of the topics we talk about are pretty evergreen. So we don't discuss price because of that, but you can make a phone call and we're glad to tell you if any of our paid programs would fit, or if we have free resources that would help you instead.
Ooh, there's a good question. Are Amex Hilton points, Hilton Amex points different than other Amex points?
Very good question. And yes, they are entirely different. So remember, we talked about branded points versus flexible points. Amex membership rewards points come with Amex Platinum, Amex Gold, Amex Blue, Amex Green, Amex. There's another one. All of those cards, and they contribute into one umbrella of points called membership rewards. And those can transfer out to all sorts of partners, including Hilton and Delta. It doesn't work the other way around. If you have an Amex Hilton card, you're stuck with Hilton.
Kind of like my
There
Delta
are some exceptions.
Amex.
There are some hotels that transfer out, but it's not usually a good use of those points.
Gotcha.
So yeah, I talked with someone last week who has a 500,000 Hilton points, and I had to say, I'm sorry.
Sorry about that.
I mean, you can get value, but it's 10 times as difficult to get value out of Hilton points versus membership rewards.
Answering Ron Perry's query of, I have 350,000 points with Hilton. Can I use them somewhere else?
To my knowledge, Hilton points are stuck with Hilton. Marriott is transferable elsewhere.
Wow.
And that's the only hotel I know off the top of my head that has that flexibility. But yeah, if you have Hilton points, they're stuck with Hilton. Hyatt points, stuck with Hyatt or Hyatt partners.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And just to clarify what you just said a few minutes ago, that all of our topics are evergreen, but the rules and how it's being handled is not. I love that.
Right.
So it's definitely changes up. Deborah says MSY is for New Orleans, y'all. And I got to tell you, not one letter of MSY is in the two words New Orleans. So I can see why we were confused. How'd they come up with that?
Actually, we have both territories, and I mix those up all the time. Apologies.
Hey,
MSP is Minneapolis.
That's right. Okay, I think we're getting ready to get out of here. But birthday boy Brooklyn Joe says he just used Hilton Points 90,000 and free weekend certificates for 2 nights at the Waldorf Astoria in Beverly Hills in April. Fancy.
Yeah. So that's a redemption multiplier.
Yeah.
It is possible. They're a lot more rare to find those deals with Hilton than say with Hyatt. But yeah, not all is lost if you have Hilton points, folks. And that's what we do in the lounge too. We show you, if you're sitting on hundreds of thousands of points, we show you how to get the most out of those points.
At least do something with them. And I like that other members share and just what different deals they got. There's a lot that we share with each other that we'll get an email that says Frontier had that crazy holidays deal last week. Nobody could seem to book anything using it. Little FYI. I know Brooke was trying as well too. So, and if you have typed in interested to be part of our lounge group, it looks like we have a bunch of people in here who will get in touch with you. So that's due. I guess we'll do a random number generator.
Yeah.
See if I have oh, there we go. Brooke gave me a number. Do you want to maybe answer see if there's one more question you can answer while I look up my random number generator?
Let's see. I just thought I'd throw the slide up showing, but yeah, we'll just give it at random. And why don't we just recap for anyone looking, we encourage you to take advantage of our free resources. I started this company because learning to travel this way changed my life during a very difficult time in my life. So 98% of our customers will never join our paid program, and that's perfectly fine. If we can help you travel twice as often, 3 times as often for free in coach, my job is done and I'm elated. That's what the JGoot Village is for. If you're an avid traveler, if you travel a couple times a year internationally and are tired of doing that in coach, our paid coaching program is designed that it's guaranteed to pay for itself. Yes. If not, we will work with you until it does. And to find out more, you can just type interested and we'll tell you about it. It's not cheap. It's not for everyone. It's not for people who just visit, in the 48 states once or twice a year. But if you do travel often in business or internationally and you're tired of doing it in coach, we'll show you how to cut that budget in half, if not 2/3, and do it in business and first class. And if you're interested in that, type interested. We'll have one of our representatives help you out. If it's a fit, we'll tell you more. If it's not a fit, we'll point you in the direction of free resources that will help out instead.
One more question I'll sneak in here from Eileen. Right. Can hotel nights booked through sites like Hotwire count as status with the hotels, such as Hyatt?
So unfortunately, with hotels, they do not. Okay. With airlines, they do. So you can get status through third parties with airlines. You cannot with hotels. For the most part, there's always an exception, but I can't think of one.
Gotcha. All right. Our lucky number today is 7. 7.
Ooh,
that's the comment number. We'll count them up and Brooke will get in touch with you. This was good. Thank you, Sarah. She says your sessions are invaluable. Thank you so much for sharing your knowledge with us. We're glad you appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Len. We appreciate you. All right. We are out of here. Happy holidays, everyone. And we'll see you next Monday. Right?
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I'm in. All right, everyone. See you next week.
Happy travels.